All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA, and this is my update for Saturday, January 30th. A week or two ago, it looked like there was maybe at least some momentum behind the impeachment trial in the Senate, the trial of Donald Trump, of course. For example, when Mitch McConnell said that the mob was fed lies, it started to seem like there could be more room for some Republicans to cross party lines. At this point, though, it's pretty clear that there aren't going to be enough votes to convict the former president, and the next question is how that's going to affect the trial, or if it's even worth it to the Democrats to hold a trial if they know how it's going to end. Yesterday, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine said, "I just felt as outrageous as the behavior was and as much as accountability is needed, I just didn't see a way that Republicans would get to 17 votes to convict. I thought about it as soon as the House started to do it. The urgent need is COVID relief. And I know Chuck Schumer feels the same way." Chris Murphy, another Democratic senator, questioned the plan to proceed immediately with an impeachment trial. He said, "My point privately was not necessarily that we shouldn't hold a trial, but we needed a couple weeks to get the cabinet in place and to get COVID relief moving. So ultimately, it's going to be hard for them to justify the impeachment trial as a key part of the agenda for the first few months of the new Senate, especially when they have so many other legislative priorities, including stimulus, as these two congressmen said, and it doesn't look like the trial is going to lead to the result they're looking for anyway. They still have some options. They could continue with the trial now. They could switch from impeachment to a vote of censure, which only would require 50 votes, right, with Kamala Harris being the tiebreaker instead of 67, or they could table the whole thing for a few months and come back to it when they have a chance to set the rest of the agenda in terms of a stimulus bill and other time-sensitive issues. Unfortunately, I mentioned one of the updates this week that Biden was planning to boost vaccine distribution to 10 million doses per week, but that plan is starting to look maybe a little too optimistic with the complications the administration is facing in getting those doses out. Politico reported today that they are currently looking for more than 20 million doses that have already been sent out to states. So the federal government distributed them, but there's no record of them being administered, and now they're having trouble accounting for them. And obviously that gets even more challenging when you add in the fact that the White House just switched hands and Biden is trying to implement his own COVID agenda while he takes over the situation from the Trump administration. They believe that out of those 20 million doses that are not accounted for, only roughly 2 million are in that set due to a lag in reporting, which means around 18 million of them are still stuck somewhere in the distribution process, but they don't know where. So the federal government has to distribute the vaccines to states. The states have to distribute them to local health departments and local health providers, and then they finally need to administer those dosages. And the federal government doesn't have any control, really, or any access to information after the doses get to the individual states. They get an update when those doses are actually used, but they can't see where those 18 million doses are or how close they are to being administered. So a lot of the work for the new administration has simply been trying to locate the existing doses and make sure that they get distributed quickly, and that could make it tough for them to hit their goal of 10 million weekly vaccinations, at least in the near future. On a more positive note, the Biden administration also announced a plan to release weekly reports on state COVID-19 data. I'll put the link to the report in the description in case any of you want to see what's happening in your state. Here's a piece of the report for Alabama, for example. It covers a number of new cases and deaths, the number of tests administered, how many came back positive, the number of hospital admissions, and it even shows the situation in each individual county and metropolitan area. Now, this data existed before. The Biden administration didn't create this data, but the Trump administration would only provide it to state officials rather than making it publicly available. The initial set also included a note that the format and content are under review, so these reports may look different next week, but overall, I think it's great that we can at least see this information. I know the vaccine plans are very different in each state. Some states seem to have this figured out better than others, but hopefully they can streamline distribution in the near future and we can start getting back to normal, or at least a new normal. All right, folks, that is my update for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.